guys, Shaquita Graham from lovingtheblackman.com and ateco.com. I am excited. I'm going to be talking about Killer Mike, Jermaine Dupri, Usher, Donald Lawrence, Davion George. And I'm bringing these people up because I feel like what I'm witnessing right now is just the waking of giants. Even with what's going on with Nate Parker and his new movie, The Birth of a Nation, and how he actually came about that business deal, how he put his money in. I love seeing the way Black men are coming together to do things for our community. So I'm going to highlight that today. And for me, the reason why I really want to dish about this is because I feel that it's so important for me to be proactive and acting in the offensive against oppressive forces, as opposed to being reactive and offended about what oppressive forces do. So one of the main things that I thought was so important in some of the stories that I read today was economic cooperation, and nobody talks about that better than Dr. Claude Anderson, about the need for economic cooperation in the Black community. And again, let me just highlight a couple of sources. Of course, Financial Juneteenth and Your Black World always highlights awesome material. And then we have Straight from the A and Urban Intellectuals, where I find a lot of these amazing stories. But today, I was reading about how Killer Mike came together with, and this is Atlanta-based rapper Killer Mike, as well as Usher, Jermaine Dupri, and others came together to support Black-owned banks. And actually, the bank that they're talking about is in the Atlanta area, Citizens Trust Bank. And that's where I recently started banking as well, because I was like, I really need to support a Black-owned bank. So I put my money over there, and they said the reason why they're doing this, they are banking small, they're banking local, and they're banking Black. And that's what's up right now. They said they're banking small because they're here and they're personable, and I can attest to that. Many times I don't like going into these Wells Fargo's, these different banks, because I mean, you just saw a story recently where a rapper, the police were called on this rapper when he went to a bank to withdraw $200,000 of his own money. Come on now. So when I went to Citizens Trust Bank, they were very friendly, very personable. I felt good about going into the bank. And another thing they talk about is it's local. It's easy to get to and it's close by. Of course, that's important. And then they said because it's Black, and that's what we are. And that's what I love about this story. I read another article that talked about how Black banks control only $5 billion in assets, where you have something like a large bank like Wells Fargo, which controls 1.7 trillion in assets. And I love the idea of Black people in the media and music promoting this idea of coming together and supporting a Black bank. And another thing that I read about was in 2001, there were 48 Black-owned banks. And today, in 2014, actually, this article said that they found in 2014, there were only 25 Black-owned banks remaining in the country. So, yes, I think it's so important for us to practice group economics and to work on finding ways to make our money work for us. Okay, great. So Killer Mike, Usher, Jermaine Dupri, that's awesome. And I'm with you. I'm banking at Citizens Trust Bank, and there's so many online. If you Google Black banks, you'll find one in your area too. So thanks for Straight from the A for having that article. The other thing I saw that was amazing, former NBA star Davion George, he was involved in a community development project where he either is planning to develop or is in development on 47 affordable apartment homes. And there will also be in this community, they'll also create a grocery co-op, And they said it's, they decided to have a grocery co-op because there's no grocery stores in that local area. They will also have an amenity that's dedicated space provided for after school activities for children in the neighborhood. And I love this because this is another thing that we need: community development. We need to invest in creating, like, um, you know, uh, Dr. Claude Anderson talks about having an Africa town, or how you can see in certain areas. I've heard Jason Black talk about in Detroit, there's a Greek town, and we know about Chinatowns. We need to take our money. I think it's a great idea to take our money and build up our own community, with mixed use spaces as far as housing as well as businesses. And that's what that we see him, Devion George, doing. So I thought that that was amazing. Another story I read was about a young man, age 27, Damon Lawrence. He is working to build Oakland, California's probably one and only a boutique hotel. He's the CEO of a company called Homage Hotel Group, HOMAGE Hotel Group. And I think it's wonderful what he's doing, because he parlayed his prior experience working for Ritz Carlton and things like this, to he extracted that information from working with them to figure out how to build his own thing. And to quote him from this article, is that he says there's a need in our society as a whole to acknowledge Black culture as a part of the larger American story. It's important to pay homage to pioneers, especially Black pioneers in hospitality. Lawrence says when Blacks did not have the option to go elsewhere, it was Black hotels and other Black businesses that served them. It's unfortunate that now we have endless opportunities of places to go, but the option of supporting local Black-owned businesses is not really there. And I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with what he's saying, because there's many times I want to go out with friends, I want to have an event, and I want to know that I'm not going to be somewhere where they're going to write the N word on my receipt, which we saw somewhere in the country. Or like Marvin Sapp, he was at Ruth Chris and they wouldn't let him in because of dress code. So we see these kinds of things happening, and that's why it's important to build safe havens in our own community. So I love everything that I saw in these articles. You have economic cooperation and group economics. You have community development. You have Black men building safe havens in our community where we know we can be welcome and we can be treated well. So I'm excited. It's like waking up giants. I mean, we know that Black men have built civilizations all over this planet, and to see us really kind of walking in that again is just so inspiring. So stay tuned to lovingtheblackman.com. Stay tuned at ateco.com. That is another part of my mission with ateco.com, is to bring technology to the forefront, to use as a tool to help us to build these communities, to build economic cooperation, and so on and so forth. So Shaquita Graham signing off. Thanks for watching.